right, good morning, guys. So I hope you guys had a good weekend, and I hope you finished your project. So that's actually the first reminder for today. If you haven't already turned in your project from last week, you do need to turn it in now. Technically, it was due at 9 o'clock this morning, so make sure it is turned in as soon as possible. As of the time I'm recording this, which was 10:30 in the morning on Monday, about a little over half of you have turned it in. So that's really good. I just need the other half to turn it in. So for those of you who turned in your work early, I really appreciate it. Thank you. And for those of you who are still getting your work turned in, make sure you get it turned in as quickly as possible. All right, so this week we are going to be talking about technological revolutions and kind of their impact on society. And we're going to look at those through the lens of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So what we're going to look at is a book that was actually written 200 years ago that has provided the framework for scientific discussion. Hi, Mittens. Hi. This is my cat. Her name is Mittens. She does not understand that I can't play right now. All right. So we're going to be looking at the book that Mary Shelley wrote in the early 1800s. The topics that she brings up in her book are still topics that we care about today in the scientific community. It deals with questions like who's responsible for creations that go wrong, what happens, if we don't know what will happen with this new science, and, things of that nature. So when she wrote this book, she started writing it when she was only 18 years old, and that would have been in 1816. And so she started writing in 1816 when she was 18, or yes, 18. Sorry, there's a lot of dates. It wasn't published for 2 years, so it was published in 1820, or 1818 when she was 20. Like I said, a lot of dates. So she started writing at 18, finished and published at 20, but because she was a woman and this was a horror novel, she actually published it under an anonymous name. So like her first name wasn't on the book. It was just M. Shelley when it was published. And that's because people in the 1800s did not think that women should be doing things like writing horror novels or doing anything that, challenged the status quo. So she does something really cool. She writes one of the first acknowledged science fiction books and has remained relevant to today. So what we're going to be looking at is how did Frankenstein address the issues of the Industrial Revolution? She came in. And how did it address the issues that were brought up by the Industrial Revolution? Because she is writing this right at the beginning when all of these new technologies are taking over things, and nobody's quite certain what's going to happen next. Think about it. 200 years ago, they didn't have telephones. They were just starting to really experiment with things like trains. There were no telegraphs. So these are things that have come up in the last 200 years. And we went from not having instant communication to going from telegraph to telephone to an iPad Zoom meeting within, 200 years. So there's a lot of change that has happened and a lot of things that are different. And yet Shelley's questions still remain the same and still remain relevant. So, all right, so what you guys are going to be doing today is reading an article about her book and about its impact on culture and the questions that are brought up because of it. Make sure that you read each of the little outcroppings and little other sections. And then there is an assignment where you are answering 10 questions about the reading. 8 of those questions are multiple choice. 2 of them are open-ended. Make sure that you use complete sentences when answering those open-ended questions, so questions 9 and 10. So when you open this assignment and you send it over to Notability, which is what you should do, all you need to do is add an extra page. That way you have space to write those answers to the 2 open-ended questions. Okay. Now, as always, you can shoot me an email. You can set up a Zoom meeting if you have any questions or concerns, or even if you just have something interesting to say about the topic. I am here. So remember, make sure your project is turned in. Obviously, you're watching the video now. Read the article, answer the questions, and that's it for today. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at an excerpt from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. And you guys are going to be looking at a couple of questions from that excerpt. And then on Thursday, which is like our Friday now, on Thursday, you guys will have a check for understanding grade. So with today, we only have 12 school days left. we can do this. We can hold strong. We've got this. Work hard. Just get your stuff in. Make sure you pass this quarter so that way you pass the semester and you don't have to retake the class. I know that e-learning is difficult. I mean, I would rather be in the classroom. You would rather be in the classroom. We get it. We got to do the best with what we have. So make sure you get the assignment done, turn it in, and you're good to go. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day.